Good morning, students. Before I start today's video session regarding our English grammar classes, I would like to tell you a small story. You can say an inspiration story or a motivational story, and I hope that you people will be very happy to hear a story, and that too especially in a grammar class, and that too in our lockdown period. So let's start our story. I'm going to tell you a very small story, which I hope that it will be very much interesting for you. Not only that, it will give you some motivation for your success. I hope so, and I believe so. So let's start with our story. Once there was a small boy who was born in a very small farmer family. He was having a very small house and a little to survive, a very little money to survive. And at the age of 9, he left his school because his father was very poor and he was not able to survive with his income. So he was not even able to make this boy to go to school. So he left the school at the age of 9 and worked in a store, in a store shop, to help his parents. For working for some time, after some time, he got a job in an electrical company. He was very dedicated, he was hardworking, and more than that, he was believing in himself. That was the very positive sign, that was the very plus point in him, that he was completely believing in himself. When he joined in the electrical company, he after his work, when he go back to his room, what he did, he started to invent something new by his own. So after a small span of time, he invented a small holder socket, a small socket which was very light, and he was so excited with that invention. He ran away to his office manager and showed this socket to him and said to him that, see sir, I have invented this socket, and it is so light and it is so simple and it's long lasting also. But unfortunately, he got a negative reply from the manager, and the manager directly refused, ignored his product. He was a little bit desperated. He went back, but still he never lost his self confidence. And that was, as I told you, that was the only benefit part in him. He went back and he discussed with his friends also many times, and most of his friends discouraged him. He asked whether I can start a business of my own. Shall I make some socket of my own? Shall I see that can it be sold out? All these things he discussed with his friends, but his friends, his relatives, all persons whom he discussed with gave a negative reply to him, said to him that don't lose your job, don't leave your job, don't try to start off your own business. You are not capable, you cannot do it. You will lose your job as well as you will get deteriorated in your business also. So never do that. All of his friends as well as his relatives advised him, but discouraged him. You can say it's not advised, it's discouraged him, saying that you cannot do it. But still, He was having a belief in himself, and he, at the age of 22, he started with his wife in a small, in his room, where he was staying in that same room. With his wife, he started a small company manufacturing this socket. Then what he did, daily morning he used to go on the street, door to door, tried to sell his product, but unfortunately the same result. It was a negative one, and he was not even able to sell even a piece of socket. But all this happened in his life, but still he never gave up. He never lost his confidence. He was still believing in his own strength. He was so much confident of his ability and the determination which he was inbuilt in his mind. Then after that, time passed. After some time, unexpectedly, from nowhere, I don't know, he got a 1,000 piece of order, and that was a major order for this man. He was from Japan, and his name is Konosuke Matsushita. His name was Konosuke Matsushita. He was Japanese, and after that 100 years, after that first order of 1,000 pieces, after that 100 years passed, now you can say the annual income of that particular company is nearly $65 billion. $65 billion, the annual sale of that company, and the company product is sold all across the world, and the company is having nearly 250,000 employees all over the world. And dear children, all this, and the name of that company is called, is now it's, you may be very familiar with that name of that company. The name of that company is Panasonic. And all this was made possible by a single man with no education and no money. That's the important thing. It was made possible by a single man who was not having a single penny with him, and not even a basic qualification, educational qualification. But what the exact thing he was having was all he had was a belief in himself. So dear students, always remember and always have belief in yourself. Believe in you. Others will be discouraging you. Others will be giving you a negative reply. They will disgrade you. Okay, so never go through that. Never hear to others. Think about yourself. Work hard on it. Have a passion. First, see what is your passion, because when you recognize the passion, definitely you will recognize your career. So first of all, understand your passion, and dear students, work hard. So let's go through our grammar class. Let's kick off with today's grammar session. As we have already discussed regarding the basic grammar, up to the preposition we have already discussed, and in our previous video session we have discussed about framing, how to frame a sentence, and what is I just gave you only one thing to remember, that is, you have to keep the subject in the first place, predicate in the second place, and object in the third place. That I have told you, and I have given you one example also, that Tom is a bus driver. Sorry, Tom is here. The Tom is subject, drives is the predicate, and bus is the object. It was already told to you. Okay, Now, one more important thing, what you have to see when you are framing a sentence, as I told you, you have to keep all the things in the proper way, in the proper position, 1, 2, 3, subject, predicate, and object. That's true. And one more thing, what you have to see is that you have to see the sentence in which tense, in which tense the sentence is. Whether is it in the past tense, whether is it in the present tense, or whether it is in the future tense. I hope that you may be very familiar with the tenses. Anyhow, I will give you just a pick of how many tenses are there. Just a brief note of tenses. There are actually 3 tenses. You may be very familiar with it. I know that past, present, and future. But out of these 3, it is derived nearly 9 more tenses. Okay, that is past, present, past continuous, past perfect continuous. Okay, present tense, present perfect, present continuous, present perfect continuous. Future tense, future perfect, future continuous, future perfect continuous. So all this makes 12 tenses, and we have to see in which tense the sentence is all about. First, see which is the tense. If you feel that it is, if you get that this is a present tense or a past tense, for example, you have to frame a sentence. Example: Ram is a good boy. Here you are very familiar that this is a present tense. That is why we are using is. If it was past tense, what will we use? We will use was. Instead of is, was will be used, because is the present and was is the past. Okay, it is for singular. You know there are 2 types of, one is singular and one is plural. Ekavachan or Bahuvachan. You will be very clear of it. Okay. Now, if it is in the singular and in the present, mind you, remember carefully, if it is a singular and if it is in the present tense, we have to use is. He is, she is. Very good. Now, if it is in the plural, in the present tense, we use are, A-R-E, and in the past, we use were. Okay, for example, they were going to the market. They are going to the market. That is the present tense. They are. Because how can I recognize this is a present tense? Because they are. Here we are using are, and it shows that the sentence is in the present tense. They are going to the market. They were going to the market. They are going to the market. That is the present. They were going to the market. Here, instead of are, we used were. Why? Because it is in the past tense. And why we are using are or were? Because here both the sentences are in the plural. They are. They itself is a plural. And because it is a plural and they are going to the market, it is a present tense. So we are using this are. In the second sentence, they were going to the market. So because as I told you earlier, because it is a plural and it is in the past, we use were. They were. So is in the present for singular, was in the past for the singular, are in the present for the plural, were in the past for the plural. This is the basic thing what you have to remember. And see, It's very simple. What you have to see, you have to recognize the sentence. If suppose what you have to practice on it. That is the main thing, because as I earlier told you, practice makes a man perfect. Without practice, you cannot have anything. I tell you, you are very familiar about it. Okay, you are very intelligent people, I know that. So you know that without practice, nothing is possible. Everything is impossible. So if you want to have a communication, better communication skill, if you want to have the knowledge of grammar, the basic grammar, at least the basic grammar, if you want to have the basic grammar, what you have to do, you have to listen to the class, practice on it, understand it properly, then you have to practice on it. The maximum time you have to devote for it. Automatically what will happen, in a blue moon day you will be very familiar, you will be very fluent in your English communication skill, and that too you will be very convenient with your English grammar classes. Is it very clear? So these are the two things. And as I told you about the prepositions are the words which are used to have a connectivity or a relationship with the noun and the sentence. It is already discussed with you, and I hope that you will be doing your practice on the way. And I hope that these two things, are and were, is and was, please remember in the same thing: has, have, and had. Okay, have, has, and had. Is it very clear? With the singular, has in the present, we use has in the present with the singular. We use has, H-A-S, has, with the singular in the present. And we use have with the plural in the present. Now I will tell you an example. He has a bike. He has a bike. He is a singular and it is in the present. He, that is why we are using has. He has a bike. At the time that person is having a bike. Is it very clear? In the second sentence, they have bikes. They have bikes. We are using have because here the tense is, it is a plural. They always indicates to plural. That is why, and that too, this sentence is in the present tense. The sentence is in the present tense and it is a plural. We use have. If the sentence is in the present and if it is a singular, we use has. He has a bike. Singular and present. They have a bike. Plural and present. So has and have. Both are used in the present, one with the singular and one with the plural. Very clear? Both are used in the present tense. Now, for both have and has, the past tense of have and has is had. For example, he had a bike. So when I am talking about this, at the time, the person is not having a bike. It is a past tense. He had a bike now, but now no bike. Because it is a singular and it is a past, there we use had. He had a bike. They had a bike. Here also we are using the same had with the plural. But remember, we are using had with singular and plural. Remember carefully, in the past tense, not in the present. As I told you, present with the singular, has with the plural, have. He has, they have. But for both of has and have, for both this, the past tense is had. He had, they had. He had a bike. They had a bike. He is, they are. He was, they were. He has a bike. She has a bike. He had a bike, she had a bike, they have a bike, they had a bike. All these things, these are the basic when we use the what you called English language. We must be very careful about these small things which are small because small things are always notified. So be careful better and see that you are not making any type of grammatical mistakes. And I hope that from tomorrow we will be going to have a Zoom class. I will inform you when, at what time you must be getting ready for your Zoom class. Okay. And one more thing I want to tell you before I conclude my class over here, I want to tell you one more thing, very important thing. That is, success is not dependent on how much you are educated or how much money you do have. It depends. Success is always depend about believing in yourself. So, if you are also in pursuit of success, if you are also in pursuit of success, first believe in yourself when no one else does. Survive when other people give up, and just wait for that miracle time that will change your life forever. Hope this class may be a beneficial as well as a knowledgeable video session for you. Thank you, and be secure, be safe, be happy, and be healthy. Thank you.